Oh my gosh, it's been so long since I've last done a video on here, and it's because, as you can see from the title, I have been traveling so much, especially in March. I finally have been getting back into the swing of things here, but even in April, I had like family come visit pretty much all the beginning of April. But in March, I was gone for literally every single weekend, and if I wasn't gone, I had like Regina come and visit me one weekend. So essentially every single weekend, and longer than just the weekend, I've been doing something. I think I was here like 12 days of the month, if you include Regina being here as like an out of, office type things. It kind of felt like I was on vacation too. So long story short, I was gone majority of the month, not working. There were a ton of days where I was not listing either. However, despite all of that, I was still able to make about $14,000 in sales. That came out roughly to about $7,000 in profit after fees. Now, my goal is a little bit higher than $7,000 profit, but for being gone for half the month and not really working much at all, I am very, very happy about that. I mean, when I look back of it, I can't ask for more to be able to travel and do things and still be able to make that money. So I'm gonna be going over some tips that helped allow me to make that much money even though I was traveling. So hopefully you can use some of these things where if you are looking to travel, have a lot of different vacations coming up, then this will help you still be able to make some money while you're away. There are a couple of them that is more about like the buildup over time and the length that I've been reselling that's helped that, but there are also a couple other things that you can implement no matter how long that you've been reselling in order to make some additional money while traveling. So one of the reasons why my sales were good even though I was traveling is because I have my items cross-listed across different platforms that have a high amount of engagement on them. So I cross-list on both Poshmark and eBay, and they make up about half of my sales each. However, I also did make 2 sales on Vestiaire, which I was really happy about. It doesn't sound like a lot, but I don't actively list new items on there. At least last month I didn't, because it's kind of a complicated system. So those 2 sales just to come out of nowhere, I was really happy about. And if you're not familiar with Vestiaire, they are a reselling platform that's geared toward more higher end luxury goods. It had merged with Tradesy. So Tradesy essentially became Vestiaire. However, Vestiaire was also its own platform before it had the merge with Tradesy. So I do have a ton of items that probably do really well on the platform. However, I wasn't listing on there because the process is like even more complicated than eBay and just took an additional amount of time. So I really wasn't adding any new listings onto there. However, all of that has changed because now Vendoo can cross-list over to Vestiaire, which I am super excited about because now I can take all those items that are going to do really well on there and be able to cross-list them very seamlessly. So I'll show a little demonstration here, but on the Vendoo interface, when you open up a listing, you'll be able to see Vestiaire on the side, and all you have to do is click that little button and fill out the form in order to get that item listed on Vestiaire. And it's so much easier that you do not have to open up another app. You can do it still all straight on Vendoo, and since I am listing and putting all my drafts in Vendoo, it really makes so much sense to be able to get my items that make sense for Vestiaire onto Vestiaire this way. Just like eBay, they really simplify down the things that you need on Vestiaire and make it really simple to just go 1, 2, 3, 4, add in the different subcategory, the title, the color, things like that. One thing to note with Vestiaire, and I'm needing to make sure of for my listings, is they really do not allow any stock photos. The listing will not go up if it has a stock photo, and it needs to be a front shot of the item and only the front shot. So you can't have like a collage of the front and the back. It needs to be a single front shot. So you do have to agree that your photos are matching the terms of it before it gets listed. So do just make sure of that, or else you'll get an email that your item was not listed, which it's nice that they do tell you if it was listed or if it wasn't listed due to some issues with your photos. And so if you already have Vendoo, it's so easy to get it integrated with Vestiaire. All I had to do was go and click like connect to more platforms and then log into my Vestiaire account, and then that was it. It was done. It was automatically added. All my old listings, any new listings, and Vendu, so that I can go ahead if I want to go back and add any onto Vestiaire, I can go through to those listings and quickly get them added on. So I hope you are just as excited as I am about this update. It really just shows that Vendu is the premier cross-listing service in their space. I can't wait to get more items on Vestiaire and hopefully make it more of a platform where I make more of the sales and can help me increase my income even more. So if you're not already signed up for Vendu, I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description of this video so you can get 25% off and start getting all your items cross-listed to more platforms if you don't already do that now. So the second thing that helped me obviously make sales when I was traveling was not putting my closet or my store on vacation mode. So I really encourage you to make sure that you can have your store or your closet open when you are traveling as best as you can, and just have somebody ship for you. Even if you have to hire someone, if you have to reach out to friend, family, anyone that can help ship your sales for you, it is very much so worth it, even if you have to pay them in order to get that done, because especially if you're traveling a lot, then that can be a lot of additional sales that you are missing out on if you put your closet in vacation mode. I think about me being gone for like half the month, and if I had my closet on vacation mode, I don't even want to imagine how many sales I would miss out on and what my actual monthly total would be if I didn't have someone shipping for me. I probably would be making like $2,000-$3,000. So definitely needed to make sure that I had someone shipping out for me, and I do have an assistant that does that for me, so I just had her come, and very much so worth it if you have to pay somebody to ship your orders for you. Most of the time, if you have a really good process in place, it's really easy for somebody to learn, even if they've never done it before. And even if you have a significant other, a friend, or family member that has no idea what they're doing, it's really easy just to have them FaceTime you, send you a quick text, so you can then walk them through the process if they are having trouble. However, if that's like an absolute cannot do, you cannot find anyone to do it for you, they live in the middle of nowhere, there's absolutely no one around, I do recommend that first looking at eBay, you put it on time away where people can still shop your store up to 15 days, I believe it is, that you're away, and it will just delay the time that it says that they will get the item. So they can still purchase the item when you're away, but you don't have like a time restraint of how soon you have to ship the item out, and that buyer can expect that they're gonna get that item a little bit later. And I have found that even when I have that turned on, it really doesn't make my sales go down too much more. They stay pretty consistent, so I think a lot of times people don't fully mind, especially if you're only going on like a 4 to 5 day weekend trip. I mean, I've never done anything longer than like a week, I don't think, especially in this past year. I guess if you're going for 2 weeks, then maybe that would affect some things. You'll definitely want to try to have somebody ship for you if you're gonna be gone for that long, but just for a couple of days, it's a really, really great feature, and I kind of wish that Poshmark had that as well. However, going over to Poshmark, they do allow technically up to 7 days before they kind of get on you about shipping the item. So even if you don't have someone shipping for you, leave it open. And if you're gone for like 4 days, honestly, I don't think much people are gonna fully mind unless they really need the item. And usually they'll reach out to you first if they're needing it before a specific date. And then if you're going longer than like 5-6 days, let's say, go ahead, keep it open, and every time you make a sale, just reach out, let them know that that's when you're gonna be able to ship, and just make sure that it's okay. Honestly, a lot of times I find that people find that's okay, and they do appreciate the communication that you're having with them. So again, keeping your closet open is gonna be the best way that you can make sales while you're away, because if people can't shop it, then you can't make any money. The third thing that allowed me to make sales while I was traveling was the fact that I do have a bigger amount of items in my inventory. I have around about 1,000 active listings, and that's not to say that having, you know, more listings is going to guarantee that you're going to be able to make really good money even when you're traveling. However, it would be like naive of me to say that it doesn't help at all. As long as you have, you know, decent quality listings and you have more of them, like, you're going to be making more sales. I definitely think I could have better quality listings in a lower amount. It would have been just fine. However, again, having a little bit more does give you a little bit more cushion there. So if if you do ever want to get to the point where you want to travel more and have reselling as a sustainable business or your full-time business, having a quality closet, whether that just be making sure you have a good few hundred of really good items, or if you're having a bigger closet that provides, you know, a lot of different buyers something out there, then that's going to help you down the road. So continuing to be consistent now can really help you for the future. I've been listing consistently for like 4 years. I think this past month was one of the first months ever that I had the most non-listing days. So really just being consistent up until now really helped me be able to be making, you know, $13,000, $14,000 in sales and $7,000 profit without doing much work at all. However, the more important thing than that was the fact that I still had a good amount of items prepped for when I was going to go off and travel. So I did technically have items to list when I was traveling. It was more the fact that I just didn't get around to listing them, but technically they were there, and I did have new items to list, all drafted and ready to go, or just needed a little bit extra info in them in order to get out new listings even when I was away from home. And Vendoo really has been my favorite way of being able to get prepped and ready for when I am going to travel, because I'll go ahead, even if let's just say you were to take one day and photograph 30 to 40 items and say you're gonna go on even like an 8-day trip, you technically still could have up to 5 new listings a day from the items that you have drafted. So in one day, you just take, you know, 40 pictures, upload them into Vendoo. You can go ahead and get them drafted throughout the week, or if you want to be on top of it, get them drafted all the next day. And then when you're going on vacation, all you have to do is list those 5 a day, and you don't have to do any additional work. You're listing those new items, you have somebody shipping for you, and that's all you really need. So that's really the best way that you can have a good process in place for when you are traveling. Of course, there's a lot of back end of getting those items, but taking that out of the picture, if you have the items already there, really just getting them ready to be drafted makes it so simple when you're traveling. Especially again on Vendoo, they have the app, and I found that even if I'm like out to dinner or anything like that, it's a little bit easier if you're not on your computer, especially when you're traveling on vacation, just to get even just one, which I should have told myself a lot of those days, like just get one new listing out. But again, I was just on vacay mode. But if you really want to be on top of it, having the app does make it a lot easier. And the last thing that allowed me to make close to $14,000 in sales when I was traveling is the fact that my closet focused on higher ASP items. Items are gonna make me a higher profit, so that I don't need to be selling a ton of items, listing a ton of items in order to have really good sales and really good profit numbers. So therefore, I can go ahead and photograph 30 items beforehand, list those 30 items, and then once I'm selling items, selling new items, it only takes a couple of them to reach a higher profit goal, versus if I were to list and photograph, you know, 30 items and they're only making me $5 to $10 profit, then I would probably have had to prepare a lot more items before going on vacation. So focusing on items are going to make you a higher profit, and higher sales numbers are really going to be a huge key in order to slim down the prep time, slim down the amount of items that you need to list in order to meet those goals. And a huge part of sourcing those type of items is really pairing together certain brands and styles together, not just brand, not just style, but both brand and style together in order to make sure that your items are going to sell for a good amount of money and they're going to have the turnover that you want to see. And I do have a video that goes over how brand and style are related and what that looks like, but I also have a paid weekly newsletter that goes over specific styles of brands that are selling for at least a $50 profit, and then it goes upwards to, you know, styles that are selling for upwards that can make you a like $200 plus $300 profit. So if you want to get that information and see kind of what goes through my brain when I'm looking for things to source, and even things that I'm specifically looking to source, because I'm very specific and picky within those newsletter emails I send out, I'll go ahead and put a link in the description of this video in in order for you to sign up. So those are all my tips for today. If you have any other tips that you'd like to share with others before going out on vacation, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Or if you have any other questions, you can go ahead, leave them in the comments, or send me a DM on Instagram at ReCloth Collection. If you're looking for more tools and resources for reselling, I have everything pulled together on my website, reclothcollection.com. I have on there all my discount codes, Excel sheets, PDF resources, Amazon storefront, all the things I like to have for my business, all combined on there. So if you're ever looking for anything regarding reselling, feel free to check that out. But if this video helped you out, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on any new videos that I have coming out. All right, thank you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.